Hi everyone, welcome back to the PR Masterclass. My name is Formosa and I am the founder of Class, which is a resource designed to help food, hospitality and tourism businesses do their own marketing and PR. This webinar is part of a series about how to do your own media relations. If you haven't watched the first session, I recommend that you go back. I'll put a link in the blog because that's all about finding your priority media, and you do need to have a list of your, say, top 10 media to start thinking about the type of angle you'll pitch them. And so that's what we're covering in this session today. So welcome. I'm going to keep this really short, like 5 minutes, because the last one was way too long. And we'll give you a quick overview, and then I've got 5 ideas, which are really specific to sort of hospitality and food, as I know those are the sectors that most of you work in. So in terms of the foundations for developing a strong media angle, you should have your list of media now from our last session, so 10 to 15 journalists that you want to work with. What is absolutely crucial now is that you go away and read, watch or listen to everything that they produce. So you start to understand what their niche is, what they love to talk about, and how your product or service might sort of slot into their media coverage. What you're going to do is you've got your list. I want you to brainstorm a personal idea for each of those priority media. And then we're going to email it, tweet them, call them. But what we're going to do first is I'm going to give you some examples, and then in the next session I'm going to teach you how to write it. So please don't contact anybody yet. This is just the research phase. All right, so one of the most common media angles is what's called a trend or a roundup story. So that's when you're taking your product or your service and you're showcasing that you're actually part of a bigger news, a bigger movement, a bigger trend. You'll need to actually prove your point. So if you email a journal and say, we're specialising in vegetarian cuisine and it's a really big movement right now, you'll need to make sure that you've got a few other venues in the back pocket that also do the same thing. Or you'll need some sort of hard research or data. Maybe it's from a market research report to show them that that's true. You just need to make sure that if you are going to supply data, that it is from a reputable research source, because journalists won't publish it if it's not. And so here's an example. So the vegetarian restaurant specialising in vegetarian menus is part of AFR. Okay, so the next idea, which can work really well, especially for events, is photo opportunities. So basically, when you're flicking through a print publication, especially newspapers, so we're thinking Herald Sun, the Sunday Age, or even Leaders, you'll often see, on the 5th or 7th page, a really big photo, and it'll have a little news story underneath, not too much, and that's what we call a pick-up. So it is tied to news coverage, an event or something launching, but generally it's all about the photo. So I always recommend, dreaming up your biggest and most creative idea, something with lots of action and colour, and then we email it to either the picture editor, usually there'll be one, or if there's no pic editor, then the editor of that section. And hopefully they'll send a photographer, but sometimes you might need to shoot it and send a photo yourself. And so I've got an example of one that we did when I was at the festival for one of our umbrella events, and you see it's lots of colour, lots of movement. Really, really good pick-up. Another one that will be quite relevant to a lot of you is recipes. So the reason recipes are great is because if you're a restaurant, you have these already. All you need to do is downscale the quantities so that you can be sure, the reader can actually make it at home. Do a good spell check, check the grammar, and then write a little introduction about, why the recipe is fantastic, and make sure it is seasonal. If you're going to pitch a recipe, you will need to have some professional photography. So, make sure that you do, that you're regularly doing photo shoots and you're capturing that kind of imagery. Here's an example. I love Gourmet Travelers recipes. They don't take submitted photography, they shoot everything themselves, but it is just an example of one of the outlets you could pitch to. But there's so many opportunities for recipe coverage. Another idea is to profile your key spokesperson. So think about, whether it's the business owner, your head distiller, winemaker, chef, whoever it is, restaurateur. There's going to be someone in your business that has an amazing success story to tell, and it's all about profiling them as the face of the business. So it could be, sharing a really personal event that happened to them and doing a bit of a personal interview with a feature writer. It could be getting them on the radio to do a bit of an interview and be quizzed by a radio producer. And I'll show you a couple of print examples. So here's one, Kitchen Spy. That was a great column that used to be in Good Food. And they often used to do sort of chefs, entrepreneurs, that sort of thing. And then once your spokesperson gets big enough, there's no reason that you can't be pitching for features like this, the Good Weekend cover. So that will take time, and you do need to start slowly, but this is what you want to aim to be getting. Bylined articles and guest posts. If you have somebody in your business who you're building as an expert, you can pitch them in potentially to write their own opinion piece, and that's a great way to get website traffic back to your own website. What you need to do though is come up with a really, really solid content series idea. So it needs to be able to be something that they can do every week or every month, and they need to be really reliable, and you might just need to make sure that you've got someone who can edit it for you before you send it off to the media outlet. But a really good opportunity for profiling. So if you have any questions about this session, please leave a message on the Facebook page or send me a note through the form. This is just the second webinar. The next one will be on how to actually write the email. So as I said, please don't pitch any media yet. Wait until we talk through how to write the email, and then after that you should be good to go. I'd love to hear your feedback. Any questions, shoot me a note. Otherwise, I will be in touch very soon. Thanks everyone. Bye.